Hello my friends, we've approached our final lesson in this transparency course. I welcome you to this lesson on stones and glints. I've named it this way because this lesson has united all the knowledge that we got in this course, and as for its difficulty level, it's not exactly harder, it just includes multiple tasks. In this lesson, we'll try to picture glints on water as well as reflections, and we'll also try to depict shallow water and immersed stones underwater so that it looks natural and harmonious. We'll also try to depict the stones underwater in the shallow water. It won't be an easy task because we'll need to depict water and the stones must look quite sharp, but at the same time they should remain underwater. These are the tasks we're about to face and we are ready to approach them fearlessly. I've already attached a sheet of Saunders Waterford 100% cotton paper. It's our usual A3 format, a little smaller actually, and in order to save time I draw the horizon line closer to the upper edge. It's almost at the very top. The background isn't that important here because water will receive the most attention. I start the pencil drawing by marking the place where the glints are. We need to pay attention to the fact that they're slightly shifted to the right, so we shouldn't place them right in the middle because we remember the main composition rule, and it says that we shouldn't place important elements in the center of the sheet. Next, I mark the stones that appear above water. I simply mark their approximate configuration. I don't draw every stone in detail for now. I think you've already memorized this principle. I also don't draw every glint in detail, as I'll be doing them with masking fluid later. I show more detailed configuration of the stones. Note that the stones are all different in shape. Some of them are oval, others are chipped, rough, not as smooth. Try to trace every stone's configuration in this work because they are well visible here, and also try to avoid drawing simple ovals and circles. I picked this reference because it clearly shows that the stones each have their own shape and they all differ. I'm now trying to mark the location of the stones underwater. Try and spend a little more time here and pay more attention to the pencil drawing. It will be much easier for you in the future when you will be painting the stones underwater. Our wash will be wet, so we'll need to act fast as usual, and the pencil drawing will help you find your way around the work. If you don't pay enough attention to the pencil drawing, you'll probably be painting stones similar to each other, and they will end up similar in shape, like ovals and circles. It won't look as interesting and natural as in nature. So you see, I've almost finished building all the stones. And now I'll be looking at the stones in the relation to each other and correct their shape. I need to put this puzzle together, and when I found a place for every stone on the sheet, there won't be empty spots left. And the whole sheet will be filled well and in a harmonious manner. And the stones will kind of form a bond with each other. The main purpose of the pencil drawing here is for you to draw the elements from the reference that you want to show and can trace where things are located in your work. Okay, I think this is it, and I'm ready to apply masking fluid. You see that I take regular soap as usual, and I cover the brush well so that masking fluid doesn't ruin the hairs. I take my grey masking fluid. If yours is white, it's okay too. The materials for this lesson will also include white masking fluid. It's also good and I use it. Okay, now I'm starting to apply the glens that I relate to the reference and I transfer them to the paper. Note how glens are placed in relation to the stones. Here we see a stone sticking out of water on the right. It's all surrounded by glens on the left. Try to pay more attention here and don't hurry. Note that glens form groups. We can even trace some movement and lines. Try to apply the glens in an organized way and see the connections between them rather than apply them chaotically. And the more connections you find, the more you'll succeed in it, and the less haphazard your picture will look. It's this paradox of the human brain. When we try to depict things in a haphazard way, we create some kind of order anyway, some rhythm. Here I suggest that you try to copy the glens in the reference to your work, and then they'll look more natural than if we made them up ourselves. I also see glens on the stone sticking out of water in the distance. I also show them using masking fluid. I continue to look for the shape of the glens. We can even unite some of them into horizontal lines. This stage is quite important, although it seems that we're not depicting anything here and the result isn't visible. Later, when you remove masking fluid, your work will transform, so try and apply it as well as possible. I hope I've been able to convince you why you should apply glens as precisely and delicately as possible. Try to apply them delicately in very fine strokes. I'm using a rigger brush and it allows to apply different size dots. I make some bigger and others smaller. Note that glens in the distance form this horizontal line. They're also influenced by perspective, so they kind of collapse into these horizontal lines in the distance, so pay attention to it too. And they're much smaller as well. Here we must also act delicately. If you apply masking fluid in big and thick dots, it won't be background anymore, and the background glens will start to interfere with the foreground. Pay attention to that in the reference. The foreground glens are much bigger than those in the background, so we need to try and show that. Another common mistake is that we apply too few or too many glens. Here we need to look at the work and the reference as a whole. We can use the squinting method and Note what mass the glints form. We should neither apply them too broadly across the water surface nor too narrowly to avoid painting a vertical line. There are many nuances indeed. Although it seems easy, we apply simple glints. They'll affect many things in this work. That's why I pay so much attention to them. I try to add glints in the places that look empty without them.